Remember the primordial days of Google when dinosaurs ruled the world? Well, in those days, we took a look and what did we see on Google? 10
Blue.
links. So, what did SEOs use main weapon to win on the SERPs? Rank tracking, right? And what did rank trackers do? They tracked rank. Whoa, okay. So, they tracked how high you're ranking within the 10 blue links. And that was it. But progress, things moved on. Now, Google is no longer just showing 10 blue links. Google shows a whole variety of search features. We've got people also ask boxes,
Video boxes.
featured snippets, you name it, that's what Google has today. So if you want to win on the SERPs and you're only tracking rank, you're back in the primordial days of Google and you're going to get left behind. So as well as tracking rank, today you also have to have a solid SERP feature strategy in place. And in this tutorial, we're going to discuss rank tracking and SERP features. Let's get going. Hi, I'm Darren Mordecai with Rank Ranger. Rank Ranger is an all-in-one SEO and digital marketing platform that will help you scale your business with data and analytics. Let's get started.
Now, to understand visibility, I've typed how to change a tire into Google. What do we see? Starting at the top of the page, a nice big featured snippet. Now, at Rank Ranger, we consider the featured snippet to be position 1. Why? Because it's got a URL in it. So there's position 1. What do you see next? A video box. Scroll, 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 scroll. People also ask box. Scroll. Oh, here we go. This is position 2. So if you're in your rank tracker and you say, wow, I'm in position 2, you'll notice that you get a very low CTR. Why? Because as a viewer, I have so many reasons not to look at your post. For instance, if I'm going to click a URL, it's going to be this one. Or maybe I'm more interested in video, so maybe I'll click this video. Maybe this one, or maybe this one, or maybe this one. Or maybe I'm interested in a different topic, so maybe I'll look at this, and finally I get to you. So as you can see, there's no question that to get onto this SERP, you're going to have to be in the featured snippet or somewhere around here. I'm sure this one gets some traffic, but it's probably very small. Now, before I show you the strategy to win the featured snippet, let's first take a look at some competitive data. Now, if you've got a Rank Ranger account, this is what you're going to do.
Step 1, track your keywords.
Go to your campaigns report. Pick the campaign and click campaign settings. Once there, click the keyword tab and type the keyword into add keywords and start tracking your keyword.
Step 2, wait 30 days.
Rank Ranger is going to use this 30-day period to track the keyword. So you need to get a little bit of data, and that takes 30 days.
Step 3, go to the Rank Ranger SERP Feature Monitor.
Here we are on the SERP Feature Monitor. The step 1 is you're going to choose Featured Snippet. Once you're there, you're going to choose the keyword you're looking for and click Search. Now this is a very interesting looking graph. Let me explain what you're looking at. This is the featured snippet data for 30 days. Now you'll notice something interesting. On the bottom here, there are 2 separate URLs. These are the URLs that are showing up in the featured snippet. There's one represented by the dark line, and then there's one over here represented by a light blue line. Now, you'll notice that the line's kind of broken up here. This is a pretty good sign, meaning, let me just explain what happened here. Day 1, no featured snippet. 2, the third day, the featured snippet actually shows up. It shows up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and then the next day, no featured snippet. Day after that, no featured snippet. Then it's back for 3 days, off a day, on a day, off a day, and then whoop, Google now showing a different URL in the featured snippet for 2 days, and then we're back again. What's going on over here? So it's Google's chopping and changing. Now, when Google chops and changes, it's generally a good sign for you. Why? because it's kind of a sign that Google's not entirely happy with the featured snippet that's currently showing. So Google's kind of changing, it's putting it on, it's putting it off, it's showing a different URL from time to time. This doesn't sound like Google's super happy with what it already has in the featured snippet. That means this is your chance to get in there. Now let me show you the SERP feature monitor showing a stable featured snippet. And then I choose a different keyword. Now look at this one, man. Every single day of the 30-day period, that featured snippet showed, and it's only one URL. Now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even bother with this one. You might actually win it, there's a chance, but it's highly unlikely because Google's showing it consistently day in and day out. That's in all likelihood a good sign that Google's pretty happy with it, and the odds are you're not going to win this one. But if we go back to our one, for this keyword, this one you got a pretty good chance. Okay, now we're going to go on to look at the featured snippet strategy. It's become fairly clear that in order to win on this SERP, you're going to have to try and win one of the SERP features, whether it be this featured snippet or the video box or whatever. So let's jump into the kind of strategy that we're going to have to use to win the featured snippet. So we start out, let's just do a little bit of analysis. What kind of snippet is this? This is a list, a numbered list. So you're going to create a numbered list. That's really the way to do it. You're going to have to create something similar because Google has found a winning format here, numbered list. Then it says below I've broken down how to change a tire in 10 simple steps. So you're going to have some kind of sentence that introduces your steps. What's interesting is here it says 10 steps and we only see 8 steps. However, it does say more items. So we'll have to take a look at that in a minute. So next step, we understood we need a numbered list and we need an introductory sentence. Let's click through to the actual content now. Here we go. Stuck with a flat tire, here's how to change a tire in 10 simple steps. Below, I've broken down how to change the tire in 10 simple steps. You see that this line is not coming from this header. So where is it coming from? Here. Below, I've broken down how to change a tire in 10 simple steps. So it looks like Google is taking from the copy that's literally right next to the H2 over here. Google could easily have taken from maybe I don't know if this is an H1 or whatever this is exactly, but Google could have taken from here. No, Google chooses to take this copy over here. So when you introduce your steps, you don't necessarily have to put it into an H1 or an H2 or anything. It could, but try to put it next to your steps. Okay, now let's analyze the steps themselves. So what you're going to do this is select this, press Control C, deselect it, and then view page source. Okay, now let's see if we can find that same text in the page source. Control F, that pulls this up. Control V, and here we go. Find a place safe to pull over. And what do you see in the code? It's an H2. So this over here is an H2. If you scroll down, this is probably also an H2. So is this. Let's just be sure. So you go back to the page source. Let's copy H2 here. So you can see I'm selecting H2. I press Control C, Control V. Now I can find all the H2s. So it says here, use your hazard lights and parking brake. Use your hazard lights and parking brake. Good. So now I understand how this featured snippet was created. Google took from this line over here. Then Google said, find a safe place to pull over. Now, what's interesting to note is then Google jumps to check for materials. Let's look. Find a place, safe place to pull over, and number 2 is check for materials. Well, in the actual content, number 3 is check for materials, because Google skipped out use your hazard lights and parking brake. I don't know why that is, but Google decided to skip this one out and jump to point number 3. Google did not have all 10 points here. Why that is, I don't know. But it could be just however the AI works, I don't really know. So in order to win this featured snippet, the first step is to look at the SERP. It's a numbered list. Secondly, we notice we need a descriptive line. Third, we need a bunch of points that describe the actual steps. And these are going to be in an H2 or maybe even an H3. I've seen these in different headers. The point here is to make it part of your headers rather than in the body text. That's how you're going to optimize your page. Now, the next step I usually try and do is to try and find something that doesn't add up, some sort of content gap. Unfortunately, in this content, I don't see any gaps. What I mean by content gap is I'd look for something that doesn't add up, that doesn't make sense, where Google got confused and put the wrong thing in the wrong order. But what I'm seeing is a fairly clear, easy to understand piece of content that's arranged in the headers. So I don't see anything here. So you don't have any obvious content gap. So what you would have to do is you'd have to try and create content that is as good as this, if not better. But I don't see anything obvious to target here.
Well, that's about all the time we have left. And this is the section where I pretty much sum up what we discussed. So let's go ahead with that. Point 1, I first discussed why you should be incorporating SERP features into your SEO strategy. Once we had that clear, then the next thing I did was we looked at the Rank Ranger SERP feature monitor to get some analytics data to see if the SERP feature that you're going after is too competitive or if it's something you can easily win. Having that super clear, then we moved on to step 3, where I showed you how I break down what's already ranking and I look to see what's already working for the current SERP feature. And of course, you incorporate that into your SERP feature strategy by imitating the same thing, but you should always look to make something better, make a better piece of content. That, I guess, I'll have to leave to you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And like it, share it, subscribe, and so on. And I will see you in the next one.